Yo, what's up, guys? I have something surprising to talk about in regard to the new SCO variants, which just came out live today. So the official patch has been released, letting people in the game now buy the other grades of the SCOs. So we don't have to just use the C versions anymore. And, prior to this patch, obviously, we needed to choose, did we want to maximize our jump range, or did we want to actually have the ability to go to overdrive mode in Super Cruise? Now we don't have to choose that, or that was what we thought. Now, I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison. All right. So what is notable here is that both versions of the 5A are the same weight, the same integrity, the same power draw, the same boot up time, the same thermal load, but they differ in their optimal mass and their max fuel per jump. Okay? And ultimately, all the optimal mass is in regard to is how powerful frame shift drive it is. In other words, the optimal mass is a reflection of how big your jump range is going to be. Now, if you look down the bottom here, you see the statistics for the jump range that the ship is capable of. The SCO version jumps significantly farther, actually. It is about, let's see, the SCO can jump at maximum 53.88, and the 5A regular is 49.83, which is a difference of about not quite 4 light years. Okay. Now, if we do a little math, we see that the percent increase in maximum jump range is about 7.5%. Now, that maximum jump requires more fuel than the 5A. The 5A, its maximum jump fuel usage is 5 tons, and the SCL version is 5.2. And 0.2 is about 4% of a fuel usage increase in that max jump. In other words, you increase your maximum jump range by 7.5%, but you only use an extra 4% fuel to do so. What that means is not only are you jumping farther with the SCO, you're using your fuel more efficiently. I'm going to say that again. The SCO is more fuel efficient, slightly, than the other normal version of it, of the 5A. All right. And what that means is that there is absolutely no downside to using the 5A version of the frameshift drive whatsoever. So you get the ability to go to Super Cruise Overdrive, and you're jumping farther, and you're more fuel efficient. They're the same weight, it's the same power, everything else is the same. It's 100% upside to using the SCO version. And ultimately, what that really means is that the normal version of frameshift drives are just completely useless now. They have no role in the game. FDev might as well just take it out of the game. In fact, why not just make all frameshift drives have the SCO ability? Because they're just superior. The only real difference is price. The SCO version is about 20% more in cost, and I'll show you the cost. I want to compare apples to apples here. So here, the normal is 4.4 mil, and it's only like another mil, not even, which is about roughly a 20% increase. So, which is nothing. That's absolutely nothing. It's just like a 20% increase for something that's already doesn't really cost anything is nothing. So it's 100% upside to using the SCO. All right. Now there's one caveat to that. I have found just from playing around here that all the SCO variants, regardless of its E, D, C, B, or A, weigh the same as one another. They change their weight depending on the class. Like if you go from a 2 to a 3 size, that's going to change the weight. But if you're talking about just the letter grade of the item, they're all the same weight. What that means is, if for whatever reason you were trying to minimize your weight and use a D grade frameshift drive, the D grade normal frameshift drive is actually going to be quite a bit lighter than the SCO version of it. So have a look. This 2E, it's 2.5 ton. The 2D is 1 ton. 2C, 2.5 again. 2B, the B class goes up in weight. But the SCO version of the 2B will be less than the regular. So what this means is that the normal frameshift drives of the D grade will be lighter than their 2D SCO counterparts, but by that same token, the normal B variants, which are heavier than normal, will be actually heavier than the SCO versions of the same grade. Because again, the sort of fundamental thing at work here is that all the SCO variants are the exact same weight, regardless of what grade they are. Another thing I'll mention though is that in regard to power draw, the power draws seem to accurately reflect the changes of grade. So the SCO variants tend to have a little bit more power draw than their same grade counterparts, which are not SCO. This is true for every grade except for the A grade and the B grade. Yeah, so the B and the A grades, the power draw is the exact same for each different comparison in terms of SCO versus not SCO. But the rest of them, the normal variants use less power. Not that either of those two sort of differences really matter. The differences in power are very minimal. The only time I would really say that you would ever want to use a normal non-SU drive then would be when you're really trying to, for whatever reason, make your frameshift drive as light as possible. Like let's say you were just trying to get a top speed record for a particular ship, and in terms of its normal speed, your speed will be a little bit faster with a lighter frameshift drive, marginally. But like other than that, I don't really see any other time you would want to use a normal frameshift drive. Also, power considerations maybe on some weird builds might be a consideration. Not really. Usually, you don't want to try to cut your power costs by sacrificing your FSD functionality, due to how important your FSD functionality is for your utility of the ship. But in any case, I'm going to move on to something else I found out that is a little bit also disappointing. And I say also disappointing just because I would think, or you would think, just as a matter of making sense that if a thing is like superior to another version of it in a particular way, then it would kind of sacrifice something to then squeeze that bit of superiority in a particular way out. But with the SCOs, the way they're working now, there's no reason not to use one. Makes the all the other old frame shift drives just obsolete. They might as well be taken out of the game. Now people have been asking, what about the pre-engineered frameshift drive, which is only available in the Class 5, right? But that is the number one best frameshift drive for the Class 5 in terms of jump range, and that has not changed. Except it actually has. If you fully engineer a 5A SCO frameshift drive, it is actually better for jump range than the pre-engineered version 1 double engineered, whatever you want to call it, frameshift drive. So have a look. Fully engineered mass manager double engineered frameshift drive, maximum jump range down here 79.61, and here is the 5A SCO fully engineered mass manager 79.8. It jumps farther. Now, even though it jumps farther, it's not the best in every single way, like we'd be able to say about comparing the SCO to the normal versions normally, because the pre-engineered is slightly more fuel efficient. It also has a faster boot up time, although nobody really cares about that usually. And also they're not equal in their thermal load. The pre-engineered is actually somehow more less heat efficient. But the pre-engineered is also slightly, very, very slightly more fuel efficient. So the differences in jump range. So basically the SCO version of the 5A will jump about 0.2%, not even 1%, less than 1%, 0.2% further than the double engineered version 1 pre-engineered. But it requires 4% more fuel to make that same maximum jump. So you're talking about a very small difference in efficiency. Small enough where it's not a consideration, really. I mean, we're talking about 4% greater fuel usage in order to gain a 0.2% greater jump distance. It's essentially the same. You added to the fact that the SCO version has the ability to overdrive, makes the SCO just vastly superior. And then on top of that, it doesn't create as much heat. It's a slower boot up time, but who really cares about that? It has more integrity. It's tougher. Like it's the best. Like the SCO versions of the like fully engineered, the SCO versions of the normal frameshift drives, including the double engineered one, it's just better. It's just better all across the board. It's the master race. Well, I don't know why that FDEV did this. It makes every other FSD just garbage. So there you have it.